Hello everyone, how are you? Back to Go Podcast. This time we will discuss about crime with the main topic KKB, a main criminal group in Papua. Together with us from Group G, with myself, Irfan Riyadin, accompanied by my friends.
Hello, my name is Najun Ibnu Watailah.
I am Salsabila Marsuki.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ilham.
Before discussing further about KKB, we also need to know what crime is and what kind of crime it exists in Indonesia, especially in Papua. Crime is anything that is done by an individual, group, or community that violates the law or an act of behavior by taking what is not right, so that this social reality of course disrupts the balance or social stability in society. Crime occurs when someone violates the law either directly or indirectly, or a form of negligence that can result in punishment. In this legal perspective, criminal behavior seems active and humans commit crimes. This criminal case has been going on for a long time. This incident does not only occur in big cities such as Jakarta, Yogyakarta, Bandung, and other places that are the center of activity for half of Indonesia's population. This also happens in areas that are not densely populated. For example, in Papua. Papua is an island located north of Australia and is a part of the eastern region of Indonesia. Most of Papua land is still in the wilderness. Papua itself is also the second largest island in the world after Greenland. The area of Papua is 421,981 kilometers cubic and 3.5 times larger than Java Island. With a topography that includes mountain area and mostly swampy land in a coastal area, Papua is bordered by Halmahera Sea and Pacific Ocean to the north, Arafura Sea and Australia to the south, Papua New Guinea to the east, and the Arafura Sea, Banda Sea, and Maluku to the west. The total population of Papua is around 2,576,822 people, which is only 1% of the total population of Indonesia, of which 70% live in rural area and in remote mountains area.
The social, cultural, and natural recruits in Papua contrast the level of human security. Papua has long had complaints since its integration into the state of Indonesia, starting from difference in perception regarding the history of integration into the Indonesian state, the ongoing backwardness and complexity of law system, which is characterized by human rights violation that damage the dignity of indigenous Papuans. Conflict usually occurs when we cannot understand this polarity of norms and values. Besides being rich in culture, Papua also has abundant natural resources ranging from gas, oil, gold, silver, marine products, and copper. Unfortunately, Papua's rich natural resources and culturally has been colored by a long history of conflict at significant humanitarian cost. The tragedy of the conflict in Papua has occurred for a long time, and some examples of conflicts that have occurred are the Wamena tragedy in 2000. The Wamena incident in 2003, the Panil tragedy in 2014, and cases that are still ongoing today, namely armed criminal group or commonly abbreviated as with KKB, and has killed many victims. Both teenagers, adult and state official TNI, who are tasked with overseeing border or crimes that occur in the areas.
KKB Papua is a group that wants Papua to break away from the Unitary State, the Republic of Indonesia. KKB is a member of the West Papua National Liberation Army Free Papua organization. The OPM itself is an active movement that wants Papua to be independent and independent. One of the cases that had gone viral was the incident where 8 workers of the AS Palapa Telematica were killed by armed criminal group while repairing 3 BTS towers in Puncak, Papua district. According to Riamizard, the Papuan, KKB is a group that wants Papua to break away from the Republic of Indonesia. Therefore, according to him, the group can already be called a separatist movement. KKB has become a separatist group that threatens the integrity of the country, he said after attending a state defense lecture at the Tubiarang Islamic Boarding School, Jombang. This KKB group acts in mountainous area in Papua, and there are several districts that are still vulnerable to KKB action. For example, Puncak, Yahukinon, Nduga, and Intan Jaya. Then there are 5 major Papuan KKB groups that have been mapped with their leader, namely Lekagak Telenggen, Egyanus Kogoya, Joni Batak, Demianus Magayogi, and Sabinus Walker. Of the 5 groups, 2 of them are called the most dangerous KKB in Papua, namely Lekagak Telenggen and Egyanus Kogoya. The following is an example of a series of KKB crimes committed in Beoga since 2021. The first, on the 16th of February 2021, the victim was assaulted using a match or stabbing on the back of the neck of the victim named Jalti Pamean. The second, of the 8th of February 2021, the shooting that killed a teacher named Octavianus Rayo. The third, on the 8th of April 2021, Octavianus Rayo was burned down in Julkoma village.
The acts of violence committed by a group of people in Papua have a different names, starting from the police calling it Kelompok Kriminal Bersenjata or KKB, the TNI using Kelompok Separatis Bersenjata or KSB, or the Organisasi Papua Merdeka or OPM, which are essentially the same, namely a group of fighters who want to separate themselves from Indonesia. And to overcome this, there are steps that must be taken by the government. Namely, the state must show a humanist approach and stay away from repressive action, namely finishing out or eliminating KKB in Papua. Peace can only be achieved through the development and not violence. So the strategy to achieve security must emphasize sustainable development that is comprehensive and uphold human rights values. The KKB action in Papua is aimed at making the local community live under fear. However, similar conditions also occur when government security forces are protected by law, can hurt anyone without getting punished. The government should not step on basic human rights in an effort to fight KKB in Papua. Limiting basic human rights to fight KKB in Papua is not only legally and morally wrong, but also not strategic and counterproductive. Instead of protecting national security and ensuring public security, it becomes an opportunity to abuse power against innocent citizens, either intentionally or unintentionally or for political reasons, which then becomes a threat to their own people. Instead of focusing on prioritizing a repressive approach, the government should be able to find an formulation to solve the KKB problem in Papua by touching the root of the problem.
And the best solution to the KKB conflict in Papua is through negotiation process. Negotiations related to the conflict in Papua are ongoing and have not produced perfect result. However, negotiation is the best process in finding a solution that is acceptable to both parties in resolving this wide and protect conflict. The conflict in Papua involves many parties with different demands and cases of conflict. Therefore, the result and progress in the negotiation process are also different. In this case, the conflict negotiation process relates to demands for Papuan independence, compensation, and the development of free procedures we discuss, as well as the resolution of racial issues and discrimination against the Papuan people. So number 1. Negotiation with the OPM. The negotiation process between the government and the OPM is indeed difficult to materialize. According to negotiation theory, the approach used is distributive negotiation where basically the relationship between the two is zero-sum game. The advantage for one party automatically becomes a loss for the other party. Holding a dialogue with the OPM on the one hand is detrimental to the government of Indonesia. This loss is related to the legitimacy of negotiation with the rebels. The government recognizes this group as legitimate actor or equal to the government and provide justification for the goals they want to achieve. Wilder, Alejandro Sanchez, and Erika Illingworth, 2017. Number 2. Negotiation regarding PT Freeport Indonesia. The existence of PT Freeport Indonesia as a form of foreign investment in Papua also creates conflict. Demands for compensation relate to customary lands, the environmental impact caused by exploration and exploitation of mining activities in Papua, prompted the Indonesian government to negotiate with Freeport. The government demands the Freeport shares of 51% of negotiation process related. Nationalization also lasts quite a long time and faced many obstacles. And the last, number 3. Negotiation regarding racial treatment and discrimination treatment and discrimination against Papuan are not new. However, this issue was discussed again due to a series of incidents in Malang and Surabaya related to the expulsion of Papuan students. Negotiation is a concrete step that was directly chosen by President Joko Widodo to prevent the wider impact of the incident. The Jakarta-Papua dialogue is a term that is often used to describe the negotiation process that takes place in resolving conflicts in Papua. Dialogue is the best way to resolve conflict in Papua because it sees Melanesian culture that prioritizes deliberation in finding conflict solution. Dialogue should take place between interested parties. The dialogue is also a recommendation from a various research and studies on the Papuan conflict. But what is different is the dialogue that is built must refer to the cultural values of the Papuan people. And the conclusion of KKB, the conflict in Papua is a vertical conflict. The conflict between the government of Indonesia and the people of Papua. However, in the settlement process, the negotiation of the Papuan conflict involved many actors, but internal and external actors relate to their respective roles in peace building in Papua. Process involves actors from the government, central and regional, OPM tribal chief and religious leader, as well as members of the TNI or Polri who have been given special assessment to maintain security in Papua. Meanwhile, external negotiation involve the Unitary State regarding the action of PT Freeport Indonesia in Papua. The government is expected to be able to respond quickly to the demands of the Papuan conflict by conducting the Jakarta-Papua dialogue. The formulate an agreement that is beneficial for all parties. The Jakarta-Papua dialogue fails culture using a military or violent approach. In the end, if the government Indonesia is able to defend Papua within the framework of the Unitary State of the Republic of Indonesia, the government of Indonesia will also declare its legitimacy in Papua. With this podcast, we hope that we can educate all people in Indonesia that conflict or crime is not good and not be imitated because it can harm themselves, the nation, and the others. In the addition, it is hoped that the entire community will remain vigilant and cautious about the crimes that are currently happening. Thank you and see you on the next Go podcast. Bye and have a nice day.